Come on, the U.S. of A. Y'all gonna let this girl get 9 fucking years? 9? Brittney Griner? Come on now, if that was somebody else, we ain't saying no names, but we know if that was somebody else, ain't no way. 9 years? Somebody gotta do something. Come on, man. That's crazy.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is Brittney Griner, the 31-year-old Phoenix Mercury star who was unfortunately detained in Russia with vials of hashish. Now, Brittney was given a very harsh sentence. In fact, some would argue too harsh. She was detained by customs with cartridges containing hashish oil, which was found in her luggage. And she was later arrested on drug charges. Now, why anyone would want to risk going into a foreign country, even with hashish oil, is beyond me. Don't you ever watch these stories on YouTube, banged up? I mean, I would encourage any and everyone to watch those stories because it talks about drug smuggling into foreign countries and the consequences thereof if you're caught, as in the case of Brittney Griner. Now, I want to bring you, well, it's not funny. Something about Brittney Griner that I have been speaking about for the longest, and I have done a couple of videos about this particular topic. I think I kind of chuckled right there because it's just so ironic, only because I have been trying to get across to black people, and I've been trying to convey to black people, and I've been saying this for the longest. But before I say what I'm going to say, look at Brittney Griner. And what is the obvious that you see? I see a very, very light-skinned black woman. In fact, Brittney Griner is actually biracial. Her mother, Sandra, is of Latin origin and obviously not black. Her father is black. But what I want to point out to you is that this so-called myth and mythology of light-skin privilege. I say myth and mythology is because many black people are foolish enough to believe that it encompasses any and everywhere. And I have been arguing for the longest that no, it does not. That we're dealing with a certain regime, particularly if you're dealing with a racist regime, if you're dealing with racism or racist people, or even less of a magnitude towards that, if you take it out of the black community, light skin has no privilege. But many black people want to argue and say that, well, yes, it does. I'm going to continue to argue that no, it does not. I will continue to argue that white people view complexion/coloration differently than black people do. Most black people, when they see Brittney Griner, they're going to see a very fair-skinned or light-skinned woman. Most white people are just going to see a black person. Now, here's what I want to talk about with Brittney Griner. Even though she's biracial, comes from a multiracial family, this didn't make any difference to the Russian authorities. Even though you can lightly say or loosely say, well, isn't one of her parents closely connected towards them? They don't give a damn. They do not give one iota as to what her mother is, what ethnicity she is, what race she is. Even if she does have the preponderance of European blood, probably from Spain, they don't give a damn about that. And we can look at this. Let me go on this right here. This is a U.S. sprinter, Abby Steiner, And the guy in the video said, well, if she was another, she may not would have gotten that sentence. I think he's referring to someone like this, with this type of a complexion. And I do believe that, yes, if she looked something like this, I don't think she would have gotten that sentence. But I want to go back to what I was going to say, and that is that even the United States of America, where is the privilege that they are granting Brittney Griner? Where are they going out on a limb for her because she's light-skinned biracial? Do you think they really want her back? To be honest with you, I don't really think they give a damn. I think that the Biden administration just does not want to look bad in world opinion. I think that they're thinking that, well, she broke the law. She should have known better. So maybe she has to deal with the consequences. Now there's talk of a prison swap or prisoner swap. Well, if they do that, it's not going to be because, Brittney's light-skinned or she's biracial. It's because the administration is trying to save face. So saying all that just to say this. Once again, to my black people, there is no damn such thing as light-skinned privilege out of the black community. And when it does manifest, it is usually light-skinned women who benefit within the black community. If you are dealing with a racist white person, even someone as light as Brittney here, they are going to see a nigger. When you are dealing with racist regimes, they are not going to see a light-skinned person. They are going to see a black woman. Brittney's light skin or her light complexion, some would say fair complexion. I don't really like that word, to be honest with you, because it kind of like implies that other complexions are not fair. But it does not grant them any type of privilege away and out of the black community. And keep one thing in mind. Keep one thing in mind, as I have been stating. To most white people, regardless if you are the complexion of Lupita Nyong'o, Lori Harvey, or Brittney Griner's complexion, they view you all the same. So in Brittney's case right here, you can clearly see by the sentence that she got, by how the Russian government came down very harsh. I mean, you would have thought that she smuggled cocaine in. Really, oils of hashish? They could have given her 3 years, but they chose the harshest sentence. Yes, a lot of that's political, trying to set an example or trying to, maybe in effect, trying to get these prisoners swapped to go forward. But who knows? But they made an example of a light-skinned woman. Again, I'll say this, the Biden administration, they don't give a damn about Brittney. They really don't. They're going to do all they can to save face because they don't really want to look bad. Now, will she come home? Who knows? Personally, I think the sentence was very harsh. I think that, 3 years could have been enough. Like I said before, it wasn't cocaine. It wasn't anything, she wasn't arms smuggling. It was just hashish oil. But then again, we have to know better. We as black people, or in Brittney's case, biracial, we should realize that, you're going internationally into a different country. You got to pass customs. You're dealing with different laws, traditions, and customs in those countries, where they can take something like this a lot more harsh. And by you being an American in a time of like the conflict with Russia and the Ukraine, America seems like they're taking the side of the Ukraine. You were foolish to be even trying to do that. It would be foolish to even try to do that. In fact, it would be even foolish to go to Russia at this particular time and moment. It would be foolish to go to the Ukraine right now. So people got to use more common sense and realize that these countries are not going to be lenient towards you when you break the law. The United States is not always going to step in for you when you get caught. So many a times you there by yourself. And many a times you may have to just complete the sentence that was given out to you, regardless of how harsh you think it is. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.